And so I looked at this person. I thought, how can you hold yourself out as a fitness trainer when you're easily and obviously 40 or 50 pounds overweight? How are we doing, Matt?
Good, Zane.
It's good to see you, man.
You as well.
Hey, I guess I want to open today with a thought that's been on my mind, and one of the things that when we're having our gatherings, when we're talking to legacy builders, and what holds people back. And I think one of the, a lot of times there's thoughts about, oh, well, I don't have the financing. And if I had financing, then I could, expand, I could do better, whatever. Then there's other thoughts. Well, I just need to get more experience. I need to get smarter, whatever. But the word congruency is, I think, such a powerful word, and we miss it a lot in our desire to move forward and improve ourselves. And when I talk about congruency, I mean being consistent and truthful and honest with what we're doing and what we're putting out there as what we say we're doing or what we're representing. This came up, and I decided I wanted to talk about this. And I don't mean to pick on this person, but in my gym, in the morning. And in my gym, the personal trainers wear bright red shirts. And on the back, it says trainer. So I casually look over at this trainer working with a client, and I'm sure the client was paying money for this. The trainer was easily 50 pounds overweight. And I just stopped and thought, okay, how congruent is that? You're representing yourself as a fitness trainer, someone that's going to help another person become more fit and achieve goals, that kind of thing. And yet you don't have the discipline to put yourself into a normal weight class and to represent fitness for what it is. Because, and I know the whole, accept people for, love everybody, that kind of thing. When it comes to a fitness trainer, no, you need to be fit. And so I looked at this person. I thought, how can you hold yourself out as a fitness trainer when you're easily and obviously 40 or 50 pounds overweight? And so that's what got me going, was when we stop and look at what holds us back, if we can self-evaluate and look at areas of our lives that we're not congruent with. The old thing, used to hear it maybe more than we do now, but do as I say, not as I do. So when I look at, we're helping our legacy builders raise their kids. We're talking about how to raise more successful kids. And I ask them, how many of you drink alcohol? And, there's a smattering of hands go up. Say, how many of you tell your kids not to drink alcohol? And almost every hand goes up. And I think that, obviously that's a responsible parent. But how congruent is that? Oh, well, I'm older and I'm more mature, and, alcohol is for an older, more mature person. We're responsible. Well, I don't think that relates back to a 10 or 12-year-old. They just look at it and say, well, mom and dad told us not to drink alcohol, but they're drinking alcohol. So what's going on in their mind? And again, just an example of incongruency. Same thing with, I train and coach a lot of doctors. Well, I had a doctor come to a seminar, and then he says, hey, he walked out, well, in the middle of a session, where we were, a lot of people in the room. But I noticed him walk out. And then he came back in, I don't know, 5-10 minutes later. I said, and after I got done, I went and tracked him down. I said, where'd you go? He said, I went out for a smoke break. And, it's not my job to judge people and stuff, but it is to help them. And I stopped and said, wait a minute, this is a group of doctors. We're healthcare professionals. We're giving people advice on how to live their lives in a healthier manner. And you're a cigarette smoker. He says, yeah, it's no big deal. I've been a smoker my whole life. I said, well, it is a big deal if you're telling people about heart disease and about lung disease and about cancers and all these different things. I talked him into, and we worked on it. I got him to stop smoking. In 3 months, his practice doubled. He didn't do anything else. All he did was become more congruent with his true beliefs. And he couldn't believe in 3 months, he said, I can't believe the difference that made. We didn't change anything in his practice other than I worked with him to stop smoking and become more congruent. So when we talk about building, becoming masters and building our legacies, and one of the things that holds us back, and we don't even realize it, is these maybe even little congruent. Smoking, that was a huge incongruency, but what in our lives isn't congruent? So if we tell people, yeah, I'm really working on, being better with my money. Oh, let's go out to that $300 dinner. Let's go buy a new car. You see where we're going with it? And so when we talk about, let's be honest, let's really look at things. Now, I can't tell you, Matt, if you were coming to me, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. I can make suggestions. I can make recommendations, but it's up to you to look in the mirror and be proud of the person that you see and ask yourself, am I congruent with what I represent? Am I really living congruently with my values?
May I ask a question?
Sure.
With regard to the doctor that doubled his practice, do you think, first off, everybody knows that smoking is bad.
Yeah.
And you have to suspend a bit of your own self-judgment and proper reasoning if you're going to continue smoking, especially in the face of being a doctor and advising people properly. Do you think that part of the reason his practice doubled is because as he started identifying this one glaring obvious thing that he knew was wrong and he started taking action against it, he applied the same principles to other things that he knew were wrong in his practice and perhaps started saying, okay, if I know this is bad and this isn't the smoking's over there, but this is also bad, like I should just get rid of that. Like in some sense, empowering him to address the things he knew were wrong.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's not a, gee, I wonder if this happened. That's an absolute yes, that happened. And he could now relate more honestly. See, if you're, and I'll go into some of the training with addictionology and these things, with AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, they have a saying, you're only as honest as your deepest secrets. You can only be as honest as your secrets. So if you've got things that you don't want to tell people and you can work those through and get those incongruencies out of your life, you can be more honest. So in the case of this doctor, he was not proud of being a smoker. Right. Okay. He just felt that, well, it's just what I do. I just smoke, But when we started talking about it and we actually got him to quit smoking, I think it turned over a new ability for him to honestly relate to his patients. So when we talk about helping parents work with their kids, if you, tell your kids, hey, you need to be diligent, you need to work hard, you need to get good grades, and then Saturday morning they're like, come on, Dad, get up. Come on, Mom, get up. And you're sleeping late. You don't know the week I had. I need to sleep. Well, you tell me to work hard and be diligent and, rise and shine and all these things. And then, oh, wait a minute. You're asleep and it's 9 o'clock in the morning. That incongruency between the teacher and the pupil or the parent and the kid. So I feel like we owe it to ourselves to look at these incongruencies we have in our own lives. It's not for me to point out and say, Matt, have you ever looked at, have you ever been honest with yourself? That's not going to do us any good. But if you're around other people, if you come to a gathering that we're having and you're talking to other people and they're sharing their thoughts and their successes and the things that they've looked at themselves, then maybe you can go home and go, you know what? I'm going to look at myself. Am I exemplifying my true beliefs? Or am I more the guy, do as I say, not as I do? You know, I can't be a fitness trainer if I'm 50 pounds overweight. I just personally, I could not do that. And it doesn't mean I don't love the person, doesn't mean I don't accept them, but am I going to take fitness advice from someone that's 50 pounds overweight? Just like the doctor. Am I going to listen to a doctor about heart disease and working to keep myself away from having a heart issue from a doctor that I can smell smoke on? Probably not. What about your financial advisor?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I see these, you know, and I had a, you know, fairly large, successful financial securities brokerage. It's run by friends of mine now. I see these 24, 25, 26-year-old young people, and God bless them. I love them for their, you know, their heart and their vigor. They come out of school, they take some kind of licensing, they get some securities, and then they want to go out and represent themselves as a financial advisor at 24 years old. They have no net worth. They have student loans that they haven't paid, and they don't know exactly how they're going to pay them. But they're out there trying to give advice on how to develop a client's net worth and make them increase their wealth when this person doesn't have any wealth of their own, doesn't have any net worth of their own. And the incongruency there, I just think it would be very hard to go to bed at night and go, I'm really doing my clients a good job.
But I don't, and again, this is something very near and dear to me. I had a friend who, I was on the rowing team in college, and there was this guy, generations past me, about 15 years my junior, that had come through the rowing team, and everybody liked him, and he hung around in the alumni network, helping with events and whatnot. And then, you know, went out on his own at 25 and said, okay, I'm going to go work for Northwest Mutual or something like that. And instantaneously hit up the entire alumni network. And again, the rowing team that I came from was filled with very successful people. And then hit up the entire alumni network trying to be their financial advisor, their retirement planner, their, you know, I'm going to sell you life insurance, all of this stuff. And he sends me a book, and he's a young guy, and I'm trying to support him. It's like, okay, good job, Cole. Like, I'm glad you're, you know, getting after it. And again, a lot of vigor, a lot of enthusiasm. And he sends me a book about, you know, limiting my tax liabilities and all these things. And I had to finally turn around and tell him, hey, Cole, do you have any money that you're personally investing? And he said, well, you know, I'm working on it, and I got these little, I'm like, okay, listen, do you want help in knowing how to actually build net worth? Because you're trying to advise me about what to do with the money I built, but you haven't built any money yet.
Exactly.
And I know what got me from your age at 22, or he's 25, but from 22 to 35 or 36, having millions of dollars of net worth. You haven't done that. Yeah. You just want to manage my millions of dollars. Yeah. Like, do you want to jump on a call? I could give you some advice.
So you see,
he did not jump on the call.
Yeah, no, these incongruencies occur, and again, we're not trying to be negative Nellies and pointing out and being critical of people. It's just, let's self-evaluate. Right. Let's stop and look at ourselves and say, okay, how can I improve myself? How can I get rid of these incongruencies? Because just like my doctor client coaching client, he had no idea that if he just got rid of that inconsistency, that incongruency where, okay, you're giving out health advice, but you're a smoker.
Right.
Stop smoking.
Right.
Pretty easy. If you're a fitness trainer, get down to a normal weight. Okay. I've got real estate agent friends, and, you know, we talk real estate back and forth all the time, and I've been very blessed. It's been very good, very, very nice investments for me for many years. I know real estate agents that don't even own a piece of real estate. And I stop and ask them, what do you do here? How can you be a real estate agent, recommend people either buy or sell real estate, and yet you don't even believe in real estate enough to own it yourself? And the incongruency there is astounding. I built a lot of my investments with friends who are real estate agents because they wanted to invest their money along with me to buy pieces of real estate. Those are guys I can trust.
Right.
They're being congruent, okay? They're real estate agents. They're recommending buying and selling, and they're in the game as well. And so I partnered with those guys, and my Lord, I've been so blessed with, David and Mo and these guys, different guys that I've invested with. And there's no incongruency. I realized I hadn't spoken with one of my buddies. He's a very big commercial broker. I hadn't heard from him in a while. So I called him probably a couple of months ago. I said, "Hey, David, I haven't heard from you. What's going on?" He said, "Well, look at the market we're in. I can't recommend you buy anything. I'm not buying anything." And I thought, that's an honest person. He's not calling me, prepping me to buy some piece of real estate. He said, "Listen, I don't think it's a good market right now to be in. I think interest rates are too high. I think prices are too high. We need to wait." But that's how he makes his living. And yet he has the honesty, the congruency to tell me, "I don't recommend you buy anything right now, even if you have money sitting that you want to invest." And that's the power of being congruent.
Right.
He's one of the top real estate agents in the whole Northwest, and very well-respected guy, but because he's honest. And you can look at him and see principles and see, okay, this is a person that walks the walk. And I guess that's what it comes down to. Not, do as I say, not as I do, but do as I do because that's exactly what I'm going to say. Does that make sense?
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Zane.